Thanks for coming out tonight. How many people saw Whiplash for the first time tonight? Well, A, lucky you, and B, where were you 10 years ago? But welcome. Pretty incredible movie. 10th anniversary for Whiplash. We have the director, Damien Chazelle, stars Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons here. Let's give them a big round of applause. We're going to start with an Oscar winner for this film, Mr. J.K. Simmons. Mr. Miles Teller. And the writer-director, Damien Chazelle. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming together again. How's it feeling so far?
Well, it rarely happens. That's the thing, because even during, I remember, being at Sundance together, and then the film, there's all these festivals and kind of presentations afterwards, but it feels like the last time we were together, honestly, was the Oscars. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was the last time we were all three together.
I remember Sundance was just me and Miles, and Cannes was just me and J.K. And so, yeah, it's somehow, you must really not like each other.
Yeah, we don't really care for each other that much. I mean, I'm speaking for myself.
Miles, but was it J.K?
J.K.
Big fan.
Yeah, thank you.
Big fan.
Keep watching.
You must remember that face, Miles. You must.
I know every line, crevice in J.K.'s face. He's got a very, he's got a good mug on him, and he was just in my face for, well, it wasn't even that long. We shot the movie in 19 days, but it was just, he was always right there. Why are you so bad?
There's
That
the buzz.
whole movie.
There's that 19-day buzz.
Oh, yeah, 19.
You
Yeah,
gotta
19,
allow for that. Yeah.
19 days, yeah.
20 days, but that's...
Well, plus the Gorilla Day in New York, but that that doesn't count.
Yeah.
No permits. Thank you.
Damien, let's start at the beginning for you. But I wonder if you could maybe start by giving us a little bit of context in terms of how you felt as a filmmaker 10 years ago when you started working on this project, and how you reflect on it now, especially now that you're getting this very deserved, but pretty exciting re-release as well.
It's funny because we've joked about this. It doesn't feel like 10 years, or if it is 10 years, it feels like it was. It feels much shorter than that. It feels like a very recent memory. I remember, the writing of this script was I was like a lot of people, I'd sort of moved out to LA wanting to make movies, and then just sort of found those sort of dreams on hold, and was doing a lot of, I wound up kind of making my way through at that point a lot of sort of writing writer for hire jobs, rewrites, stuff like that. That was great for a while, but at a certain point I really wanted to be making my own stuff, so I kind of write stuff for myself to kind of one day hopefully hopefully make. And I'd written a bunch of those kind of the sort of dream project things, the things I wanted. I'd written the sort of a version of La La Land, I remember, and I'd written some other stuff that was not good and just kind of will never see the light of day. And I just remember it was like after a lot of kind of just stabs at that kind of writing, in a sort of place of just frustration at my output, frustration at just not being able to get anything made, frustration at the work I was doing, that I wrote Whiplash. So I don't know, I kind of think back and I think of it as something that someone writes in a state of frustration and thwarted ambition, and
It's in the product.
It feels like so that's what I remember that. But then I remember everything that followed it being almost this kind of very pleasant surprise, because when I finished writing it, I would not have said that this was the one that would actually, of the things that I was trying to write, that would actually get made or break through in any way. In fact, I think I was even embarrassed at first to show it to anyone, because it felt, I look back now, I realize it's because it felt more personal than other stuff I'd written. It felt a little more raw and almost kind of embarrassing in that sense, the way, you sort of like airing skeletons in your closet. It felt too close to home. And so I remember sitting on it for a little bit, and then kind of started, finally got up the courage to start sending it out. And but yeah, then it felt like actually relatively quickly that I was actually lucky enough to be with these two gentlemen and actually making it. But all of that felt, again, like a kind of wild surprise given where I was at when I wrote it.
So J.K., hearing that, how do you remember kind of coming into Damien's world? You started in the short that preceded this film, so you were in that part for quite some time.
Yeah, well, in it for, was it 2 days or 3 days on the short film? Yeah. And then, 16 months later or whatever it was, in it again with Miles for 19 days, not 20. Because we didn't have permits for the 20th day. It was we both said this, it was one of those things that just jumped off the page, into me, and it was exactly what actors are hoping to find when they get a script. It's like you can absolutely see yourself playing this character, the dialogue, the story, everything is just brilliant, and you hope that this young filmmaker can make a film, because you find a lot of great writing, and it doesn't always mean you're going to make a great movie, and I think we did.
When the project first came your way, Miles, I'm curious what scared you about it the most?
Well, I do have like a pretty strong musical background, in that my sisters and we started playing instruments at a young age. So the fact that I was getting the opportunity to play a drummer was really exciting to me. I had drummed in some very shitty rock bands in Florida, and so I knew my way around the kit a little bit. No, but honestly, it was when I was reading the script, there's just so much. I was like exhausted. I was exhausted for Andrew. It was such like an unrelenting process of just reading it and visualizing it, and I was coming off a project, and I knew that I would have to jump right into it. But yeah, I mean, I was very fortunate to get handed this script. It's 10 years later, and it's the best script that I've ever written. You saw the movie on the page. And then, but with Damien, what it felt like for me was shooting, because I was not that far removed from like doing student films in college. So I just felt like I was kind of making a student film with my buddy, and a couple more people around, and
Somebody on the faculty playing the old guy.
yeah. Like, this guy's pretty good. I haven't seen him in anything before, but seems like a nice dude.
We spoke a few weeks ago, and one detail that stuck with me is you had mentioned that you'd film a really intense take with J.K., and then people would ask you, like, God, it must have been so intense, and you'd be like, not really, we'd be joking around immediately after.
No, I say this, the take in the movie where he slaps me, and I think I've said this to you too, I swear to God, you can see me start to smile. It was kind of absurd, because we kept trying to do these fake slaps, and it just wasn't looking real. I was like, dude, just slap me, whatever. And I can see a smile, the internet, or whatever you guys can slow it down and look in there. But no, honestly, Damien would yell, cut, and we would just start talking baseball or making a joke. You can't stay, at least for me in my process, and obviously J.K. is similar, if we were to live in that dynamic the whole time, it would be a fucking nightmare. It would have been horrible.
J.K., did you know you could scream like that before you made that movie?
not at an actual human being. You know? I mean, I can do that at an inanimate object that's not cooperating with me, or at a you know, another driver that can't hear me, maybe. No, I mean, you know, I was channeling Damien's frustration. The music was not perfect, and I needed the music to be fucking perfect. And, you know, that's what came out. And as I recall, it was really scheduled so that, like, the screaming days were, you know, had a day or two off in between screaming days so that I could, because there's no way you can.
Oh, you had a day off?
Yeah. No, just a day off of screaming. I did have a day off during I think a day and a half off. He did not. You might notice he's in every scene in the movie. But no, I had days where I didn't have to scream so that I could, because there's no way you can do what we needed to do and use, you know, proper vocal technique. You just gotta, you know, make hamburger out of your vocal cords and go on.
Father fucking time is my wife says that to me sometimes.
Very memorable line. Yeah, no, they really are. So, rumor has it you made this movie in 19 days, I'm hearing, not 20. But Damien, in that shoot, the amount that you accomplish here, what do you remember just about kind of blocking it out and figuring out how you could do it in that very, very condensed time frame? Like, what did you learn about making a movie in that kind of way?
It was just preparation, you know. It was it's like the most minutely prepared thing I've ever done, probably. And J.K. mentioned, you know, because we shot this short film before. I mean, we had the script. We were trying to get the script made. Initially, you know, in my mind, we weren't going to do a short or anything. The short was this sort of kind of adapting to reality idea that the producers had, because we weren't getting any bites on the feature script. And so the idea was, let's just take a scene from it and do it as a proof of concept, and we'll sort of show people what it's like. But that also wound up being yet another sort of form of preparing for the feature. And you know, but yeah, we had to just kind of really get resourceful and clever. I drew every, you know, I'm not a great drawer, but just kind of stick figure drawings of every shot in the movie, and I'd sort of like cut them on, like try to use Final Cut Pro or something to sort of cut them together with demos of the music and just see for the music scenes if they would work. So I just remember lots of drawings of like beads of sweat and, like, you know, I got really good
Blood
at
on the
drawing
symbols.
face of a man screaming, like.
How much bigger was his face on the cue cards than mine?
His face would, well, it's the scream-a-thon thing. You get good at I remember there's this great thing that the Tintin comics do, where when a character is really freaking out, there's little dots of sweat coming out, like sun ray shines, you know, sunshine rays. So I just got really good at that, you know, the big open mouth with the tongue. It's just all very. So these are the, anyway. I became very adept at this kind of drawing, because there's a lot of shots in the movie. I knew I wanted a lot of angles, a lot of coverage. So it's sort of, I kind of tried to map it all out so that we would get everything we needed to get, but not waste time getting anything more. And sometimes I remember we'd even kind of shoot stuff that way, where you know, certain scenes where it's just like, you know, when you have these long pieces of music, you kind of need to know, okay, on this close-up of the, you know, of the crash symbol, this is just going to be used for bar 14, or, you know, we're not going to do the whole chart through it. This move across the toms is just for this one fill, you know. So
you did that in some of the scene work too. That's actually what I remember specifically. One of the first things we shot was when we were sitting at the dinner table with the family, you know, come play with us forwards, and you'll never hear from Phil's another zinger. But Damien, and it was like the first day filming, and he maybe we did a master of you know, it's a couple page scene, but I just remember Damien, you know, set up the camera, and he's like, okay, we're just doing, you know, from this line to this line, maybe it's, you know, 6/8 of a page, and he's like, okay, got it, moving on, you know, 1 or 2 takes, and I just remember thinking, like, dude, this guy either has no idea what he's doing, or I didn't even think of an or. I was like, this guy has no idea what he's doing. What the hell? Let me do the whole freaking thing. But he didn't know. But yeah, he was very precise, knowing he's like, I'm only going to be in this shot for this and this.
Which, when you have 19 days to make a movie, you got to be that prepared. You know what? I don't even remember seeing the storyboards. I mean, did you have, like, you didn't have them like up on an easel or anything when we were shooting, did you? Or did you?
No, probably not. No, they were probably just like, I think, I mean, I had them and Sharon had them.
I saw him. You showed him to me at Village when we were
Okay.
becoming best friends and stuff. Yeah.
Miles and
I remember-
was on your day off, Jake.
Honestly, I think I still
Have some, he gifted them.
Nice, you
Yeah,
got them autographed
the-
and everything?
Yeah.
Framed?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Miles gave some tips on them. Yeah, it's great.
Fantastic. I gotta go.